we are live. I'm joined by Lev Parnas. Welcome, Lev.
Hey, thank you for having me, JoJo.
Well, we have breaking news literally as we are jumping on to this live that we were not intending to break and or talk about. We're not really breaking it. It's breaking. Former FBI Director Comey expected to be indicted soon in Virginia federal court. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, actually, I broke this 3 days ago, right before Trump even came out. So my sources started telling me that when the Trump decided to fire the Virginia prosecutor, they want to file against Letitia James. Part of it wasn't just about Letitia James. He's more concerned about Comey and Schiff. And I was surprised that it was Comey before Schiff, because what I was hearing that Schiff was going to be a priority number one. So I expect there to be another announcement coming very shortly about Adam Schiff and Letitia James. There's a major, major push going on right now in the White House and Trump on Pam Bondi to make this happen.
I mean, as the saying goes, you can indict a ham sandwich, right? Like, so that's the irony here, because none of this is going to hold up in court. I mean, what are they even going to indict Comey on? The fucking shell thing? Like, literally, what
They're
are they
saying
indicting him
that
for?
one of the things they're saying is lying in Congress. And again, this is part of the Trump retribution tour. This is not just James Comey. It's him going after Chris Krebs, Miles Taylor, and and a bunch of other people. And somewhere on that list, all of us are on that list. It's just further down the talent pole right now. He needs to. This is part of giving red meat to his base, and also again part of covering up for the Epstein files, and also covering up for what's about to happen in Ukraine, because yesterday Donald Trump basically walked away from that whole thing and told them, good luck, and let the best man win. I mean, it's incredible to see what's happening in the past couple of days.
Well, yesterday, I mean, maybe I missed this, another part of that. I thought that yesterday he tacoed on all of his Zelensky needs to, give Putin parts of Ukraine. I thought yesterday he weirdly went backwards and said, "Oh no, Ukraine's going to win this war. They're going to get their territory and then some more, and we're going to give them weapons." And then Rubio was like, "Well, we didn't say that." I'm so fucking confused, and I'm sure that that's by design. But I'm old enough to remember when MAGA and all of those fucking incel idiots, pardon my French, said that Joe Biden was weaponizing the federal government against his political rivals. And this is literally what he is doing. But if you cannot find me some charges against my enemies, and Comey is definitely at the top of that list, I'll find someone who can. And that looks like that's what he's got.
Oh, 100%. And just like, I mean, perfect example, what you said about yesterday. The reason why you are confused, can you just think about this, Jojo? You are confused about what happened yesterday with Ukraine because of the way the media reported, because everywhere you look, it's a total 180. Look at what he did. But I always say, don't listen to what he says. Don't listen to what they're saying. Watch what he's doing. Because look at what he did, though. Right afterwards, when they asked him, could NATO respond and blow up Russian planes? He said, absolutely, they should. But when they asked him the follow-up question, will America support NATO? He said, it depends.
Yeah.
Now, how do you say it depends? Part of, the whole concept of NATO is attack one, attack all, Article 5.
Article 5, yeah.
I mean, so what, it depends on what? So that was the first clue. When I heard that, I said, wait a second, this is not going where, this is all, again, theatrics. Because then when he came out and he gave his Truth Social post and went into this whole thing about, oh yeah, Russia's a tiger, a paper tiger, all that, that's all made up theatrics for him to look good in front of us, just like Russia responded by saying they're a bear to look good in front of their people. But the final thing that he said in his Truth Social post, which basically opened it all up, that he walked away, was he said that he's planning on giving NATO, continuing to give NATO the weapons, and NATO could do whatever they want with them. And he wished both Russia and Ukraine good luck. And they're bad. I mean, just think of it. It's the same thing if all of a sudden Ukraine or somebody would have wished Osama bin Laden and America good luck in our war against terrorism. I mean, this is
Yeah.
basically what he said. I mean, Putin's killing, stealing Ukrainian kids, killing Ukrainian families, and Trump wished them good luck to see because he basically walked away. His actions. He doesn't give them weapons. He's been stopping weapons. Since he's come into office, we've heard already 3 reports that we broke that between him and Pete Hegseth, they've been pulling back weapons. So
Mhm.
there is no weapons going to Ukraine. Second of all, as far as that sanctions, he keeps threatening sanctions. If Donald Trump Jojo, this is what I want the audience to understand and look for yourself. Don't listen to us. If Donald Trump really wants to change his policy on Russia, he would have a breaking news Oval meeting where he would sign sanctions on Russia. He would release weapons and patriots to Ukraine. And then you could say, oh, there we have a shift. That's a 180. The fact that Donald Trump came out and said all of these things, I want to take you back 2 weeks ago when we were in Alaska. Remember what he was saying then?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yep.
We're gonna have peace. Zelensky. Remember, the next day he had the European leaders
Yes.
groveling at his feet.
Well,
Thank you. Walking around, looking Trump 2028
yeah.
hats, promising him that Zelensky and Putin are going to have a meeting.
Yeah.
What did Putin do? Literally within 24 hours after that happened, he said, "We're not going to have a meeting. I'm never going
Right.
to sit down with Zelensky." So
Mhm.
this is the same playbook, but again, this is part of something that I broke about 3 months ago. Actually, Jojo, 3 months ago, there was a Russian delegation that flew in secretly into Washington D.C., where the plan was really put together between Trump, Rubio, Witkoff, and all of them was they were going to delay, and now we're coming to the end of that program. They were going to play the 2 week game, delay it, stop giving weapons. After that, Russia intensified their attacks more and more and more, as we are seeing. Now we're also watching that you have North Korean troops in fighting the fight. You have China helping out. You have Iran giving them stuff. So it's not even like one country against Ukraine. You have a consolidation of the axis of evils funding
Mhm.
this and helping this. And Trump, it's all, theatrics and all talking because at the end of the day, nothing like just like nothing happened after the Alaska, nothing's happening after. Yesterday was all show. It was all glitz. It was all his pompous, narcissistic way of "I'm the best." You countries are going to hell. I mean, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, but it's also distraction from it's like there's a 9-layer tip of distraction going on here because it's distraction from the fact that they are not doing anything, and they're just saying that they're doing things and overpromising things and putting false deadlines on things. Like yesterday, he said he'll know in a month if we can trust Putin or not. When we had how many 2 weeks kicked down the road, this can has been kicked down the road. But this, I always come back to this question, and I will be squeezing the sky for an answer to this question for as long as I fucking live. I swear to you. What the hell are the Republicans doing? They have a bill right now. It is a bipartisan bill on sanctions that Donald Trump gets to tinker with because Lindsey Graham likes to suck his little peenie. So they have a bill ready to go. These are hawks on Russia. At least they used to be, right? Lindsey fucking Graham and Marco Rubio, by the way. These are two of the most outspoken Putin critics we have and we have ever had. And if Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham right now are watching this, they're not idiots. They know what he's doing. And yet Lindsey goes on Fox last night and says, yeah, Trump, we need Trump in 2028. Like, what the fuck are they doing, Lev? What are they doing?
Well, first of all, little Marco, they sold their soul. I mean, they made a deal with the devil. But I mean, there's no other way you can. I mean, that's a perfect example. Before Lindsey Graham is not even worth us debating because he's a whore. I mean, I'm sorry for that. I mean, he'll wherever the wind blows, that's where Lindsey Graham goes. I mean,
Blows is
it's a
doing a lot of work there.
exactly no pun intended.
Yeah.
but but Marco Rubio is a perfect example. He's been hawkish on Russia his whole career. He's been like one of the toughest against Russia, and now You see him kissing ass. I mean, literally today, after yes, just think about this. Yesterday, and this is another great thing I want you to look at. I always say, look at their actions and not their words. So yesterday, he was saying all these bad things about Putin, about Russia, how this, and what happened today? Today, they rolled out the red carpet for Prime
Lavrov.
Minister Lavrov to come meet and sit down and talk to. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you fucking doing here? Like, you're sitting. If it's the same thing as you're talking about Osama bin Laden, that he's so bad that he needs to this and this, and then you're gonna say, "All right, come on and let's talk." You don't do these things, and that is why I keep saying, to everybody out there, I don't understand how the media has not caught up to this. Either they're complicit and they're just trying to confuse everybody and take. But how, like yesterday, even the fact that they were like, not one of them followed up with the follow up and saying, "What are you waiting for, President Trump? If you're so disgusted with Putin, why are you even meeting with Lavrov? Why aren't you sanctioning him? Where are the secondary tariffs? You went ahead and you punished India.
Yeah, right.
India. You didn't punish Russia. You punished India. In the meantime, you dismantled through USDA all of the entities that were there to watchdog over these your shadow fleets of selling oil that nobody's now watching. I mean,
Mm.
it's just absurd that nobody's even bringing any of this up to the way it's free reign, and they're saying, "Oh, Trump is tough." The next time I hear a reporter tell me that Trump is tough on Russia, I'm
Yeah.
literally gonna throw something at him, show me how is he tough on Russia? What you just because he said he doesn't like Putin? How many times, Jojo, has
Yeah.
Trump came out and said, "I'm disappointed with Vlad"? I mean, like
Yeah.
it's
It's funny that he uses that language. And by the way, two things. By the way, I have Miles Taylor coming on my podcast tonight, which
oh,
not
today I was gonna
here.
say bring him out now.
Yeah, no,
Miles is
he's
not
not
going.
here. No, no, we're recording at 5 o'clock. Like, so that'll be on that's on my Sanish podcast. So that'll drop tomorrow. But timing could not be fucking better because I mean, right, he went after Miles in the beginning. Miles, and who else did he go after from the
Chris
beginning?
Krebs. Chris Krebs.
Right, Chris Krebs. Oh my God. Like, he is punishing people for holding him to account. Period. Whole end of story. That is it. Anybody who held him to account, who followed the letter of the law, they are all going. That's who he's attacking first.
And think about it. These are not, like he says, radical left
Right.
Democrats. These are Republicans. These are
Right.
Chris Krebs and Miles
Yeah.
Taylor. He put them in they were
Yeah.
working for his administration, like
Yeah.
Olivia Troy and all of them.
Yeah.
So they're not left wing Democrats.
Comey's a Republican too. I mean, Trump didn't appoint him. He fired him, but he's a Republican too. Yeah, I mean, yes. And also, Lavrov, just to bring that full circle, Lavrov was in the Oval Office in the first season of this shit show. Remember that? And there were, oh, I can't. It's like,
Trump gave him Israeli intelligence.
yes,
I mean,
yes,
just think about that.
yes.
He just ousted in Lavrov in the first administration. Correct, Jojo.
Okay, so you know things, okay? You know where some bones and bodies are buried. And I have had this conversation with Michael and with other people, and I've gotten every answer across the spectrum.
By the way, but before we go, Michael owes us dinner. Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk is still in the air. He's not going anywhere.
Oh God.
They're making it even bigger now.
The trend
Did you hear that now they're making it in high schools? One of the
in
superintendents
Oklahoma.
is in Oklahoma. So Michael, if you're watching, you owe us
Wait,
dinner. Me and Jojo.
but Michael, if you're watching, I'll take that one further, Lev. And he does owe us dinner, and I know exactly where I would think. Well, I don't know, up somewhere in the city.
You pick.
We went to this. I went to this great restaurant with Tara Mayer and Jim Acosta, and I cannot remember what it was called. And Harry Dunn was there too, and Olivia was there, and it was so freaking good. I have to ask Tara. That's where I want to go. But fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh,
Sorry.
Listen to this one, Michael Cohen. If you're watching, and if you're not, guys, let him know. They're trying to put Charlie Kirk on our money. They want some denomination of American money to have Charlie Kirk's face on it. So much for that argument. Yeah. But yeah, my question is to you, with all this fucking shit, when Nancy Pelosi said all roads lead to Putin and everyone else has speculated on what kind of compromise there is or there isn't, is there a PP tape? Isn't there a PP tape? Is he compromised? Is he Putin's puppet? Other people will say, oh no, he just wants to be a strong man. He just admires him. He wants to rule like him. What do you think?
Well, it's a combination. He definitely, you got to understand, if I could take a few minutes and give you a quick little Donald Trump's background. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of you already might know, but Donald Trump, grew up in an authoritarian household with his father, Fred Trump, that I used to work for. I don't know if you know JoJo.
No,
Back when I was 16, I sold condos for Trump and his father, Fred. So
you were
I've known him.
16?
I was
Wow.
16. I was actually
Jeez.
15. I lied on my license.
Huh.
but yeah, it was back going there. So, and from there, he went on to Roy Cohen. Roy Cohen was his real initiation and teaching him everything you see of Donald Trump is basically what Roy Cohen taught him.
Hmm.
Uh, in that era, it was really New York City and everything from Atlantic State to New York City. It was the mob era. It was a
Mm-hmm.
timing where the mob really had a very big influence in the court systems, in the judges, lawyers, police, and everywhere else. And, until that got taken out. So he looked up to the mob at that time and grew up in that area, wanted to be respected like a mob leader, not wherever I say goes, the young girls, the fancy cars, even though he had the money that they didn't, he didn't have the respect that they did because he was always a fake. He was not a tough guy. He was, as 18, but he plays that tough guy role.
Yeah.
Then in the 90s, something interesting happened, the fall of the Soviet Union. And that
Mm-hmm.
is when Russia unleashed all its oligarchs and sent them into the United States and all over the world to start funneling their money. And where did they wash? Where was the biggest washing machine of their money? It was Trump Towers, and people like Trump, Witkoff, and others. And that's actually one of the things I'm working on behind the scenes right now with some that to really because one of the main questions that everybody always asks me is like, what does Russia have on Trump?
Yeah.
Like, why is that? And I always used to answer the question, Jojo. Being there, and me and Michael spoke about this all the time. Like in 2000, there was no relationship between Putin and Trump. I mean, especially now it's grown over the years, but back then, what the Democrats were making it out to be that they were in collusion together. Was there collusion? Yes, but it was people in Trump's world, like Paul Manafort and others, that were connected to the Russian atmosphere, that had people, and that Trump still has, like the Sergei Gores and others that are influencing Russian influence. But Trump himself didn't have that relationship with Putin. So I always would come out and say, no, they don't have, it's no P tape, which there wasn't, and stuff like that. But what I started realizing and speaking to some sources that are from overseas that are really risking a lot to give me some of this information is that the KGB back in the 70s and 80s during the Cold War had a system set up where they targeted, and this is not just the KGB, a lot of, China, other countries, we do it, the CIA does it to other places. They targeted a lot of influential, powerful men, women in the United States that
Mm-hmm.
in different sectors from medicine to Wall Street to and they literally, just like they would put spies here that lived here and had families and you that still live here, like the Americans, like to show the Americans, you would know that was really true. That was how powerful their game was.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with Donald Trump, what I'm starting to hear and find out is through his marriage to Ivana, and through back in those days, they started following him and they started really looking into him. And when they realized that Donald Trump was dirty, that Donald Trump played in that mob world, and when Donald Trump, they realized that he had the hunger for power, money, and he was willing to cross the line, they basically helped formulate Donald Trump's life, what I'm hearing going forward, by putting people into his life that at the right time helped him with finances. This is why all the roads lead back to Russia with the money coming in from different places, setting up situations where he didn't even know, where he thought these were his friends or business associates, but these were people that were working for the KGB reporting,
Yeah.
people that seen Trump during his heydays of the Epstein files, his heydays of the running the beauty pageants, his heydays of all of that, that when they lived in that was he and Jojo, we like when the YouTube movement happened, prior to the YouTube movement, powerful people like Trump and Epstein and the Weinsteins of the world back in the 70s, 80s, they didn't think they had to protect themselves because they were doing something wrong with their actions, the way they treated young girls, women, and all of that. That was accepted in their
Mhm.
circles. So
Mhm.
there wasn't that much hiding going on. And this is
Yeah.
important. That's why, what's it called? So that's why you have so much evidence and so much people and so many people talking about it. That's why it's so amazing that, it's been covered up for so long because till this day, and I consider it one of the biggest cover-ups in American history.
Yeah.
But they had people implanted around Trump, Epstein, and don't forget Epstein. That's another story. Was I think an asset not only to Israel but to Russia and other
Oh,
countries
you
out
do
there.
think that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was not a regular guy. I mean, again, when you say asset, see, people right away think that, oh, like Krasnov. I see a lot of people writing like Trump was not Trump, Epstein. These are not people that were you watching the movies where they would report to a handler and
Yeah.
they would, say they would be told, okay, you do this, and then they would do it and bring back. No, those are like Krasnov assets. No, these were people that were had their own beliefs like business. So they were brought business deals. They were brought situations. They were put into situations where they were willing to look the other way there or give some information there because that's the circle they ran with, not thinking anything of it, not thinking that this is a Russian operation or this is what's it called. But with that said, what I'm trying to get at, and I don't have all the facts yet, and this is what I'm
Mhm.
working on, but it looks like this Russia stepped into shit and got lucky with Donald Trump that he got into the Oval, but Trump was not the only one. It was Steve Witkoff and others in Trump's administration that again were just part of that whole net of KGB going after that happened to be some of the most powerful real estate and Wall Street and other guys in the area, which is why they're all compromised in one
Mhm.
way or another because they've all have dirty secrets in their closets where that is. So it's not just like one thing where it's not the compromise where they sent them to Russia and they got hookers. No, it's a lot bigger, a lot deeper, and a lot scarier. I mean, they literally infiltrated. Imagine, literally, they had people around Donald Trump for 30, 40 years,
Mhm.
literally giving him money, doing transactions, funding, putting him in positions, helping him, being around him with certain things. Because think about 34, and think about not Donald Trump right now the way it is. Think about Donald Trump 30, 40 years ago. Think about what the 70s, the 80s was. Think about the things that Donald Trump did about calling in himself.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump was not, it's not the Donald Trump, that 80 something year old guy that you think that was not. No, think about the guy that was the predator of
Oh,
those
yeah.
days where, he was reckless, ruthless, and did whatever he wanted to.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that all makes a lot of sense, and didn't Witkoff, am I right here? Was Witkoff Epstein's neighbor or something to that effect? I feel like I read somewhere that they may have been neighbors or something like that.
They might have been New York City, very,
Yeah.
what's it called? But Woodcock was Trump's lawyer.
Uh,
Woodcock was Trump's real estate lawyer back in the
oh.
day. Was one of his lawyers that then became
Oh, Lutnick.
partners in
It's
uh,
Lutnick. Sorry.
Lutnick. Yeah, Lutnick, I think maybe. Yeah.
Wait,
But they're all,
Witkoff was his real estate attorney?
yeah, 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 absolutely. He was one of his real
Ah.
estate. He's a yeah. Michael actually verified that for me. Yeah, Woodcock he used to work for Trump way back, and then he became but all of these guys, it's the same circle. Lutnick and Bissett and all of them. I mean, it's that same circle of powerful. They're all the same, around the same age, give or take a little lesser. They're all the same era. They're all the same businesses. They're all intertwined, and they all had connection in the 90s to most of these Russian oligarchy that came here, that infiltrated, and even the tech brothers. That's why you think the tech bros, they
Yeah.
talk about them, the Peter Thiels, the Elon Musk, and all of them. They're more
Curtis
compromised
Yarvin.
anyway because all of even the what's it called, the Facebooks. Where do you think all their startup money came from? It was all Russian. All and most of that was Trump. That was Putin's whole plan. And I wrote it in my Substack comparing. That was whole Putin's plan was, during for the past 20 years, while he on the pretenses of that he was selling this whole thing, make Russia great again, just like Trump, make America great again.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech while taking it away. Same
Yeah.
thing Trump over there. What he did is that what Trump is doing right now. Trump is following the same footsteps. Think about it. Putin went and gave, all the mass riches to like 5, 6 people. He made them the oligarchy and gave them, and they became loyal to him, kicking back money to him, obviously, and working with them and doing deals and being loyal to him. What is Trump doing? He's doing the same exact thing. He's basically going out right now, giving the Ellisons, TikTok and, Paramount. He's giving Elon Musk has X and all the other things. You got Peter Thiel and you got Harold Ham. I mean, you got all of these names and all these powerful people, billionaires that are now falling into that oligarchy where Trump is sending him around the world also, taking him to the Saudi Arabia, to the summit and sending him just like Putin did, go out there. And I guarantee you, when this whole thing comes about, I guarantee you, the Trump family is making money off of all of this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what
Yeah.
is it? They've billions since he's been in office, right?
I
Between
think I
them.
heard over 10 billion
I think
they
that's
made.
the latest number too. And
Just think
much
about it.
like Putin, this is what I get really freaked out about. I don't know if you saw Gavin Newsom on Colbert last night, but he was talking about elections in 28, whether or not they'll be happening. And there was some debate because a lot of people will say to you, "Oh, well, I think they're going to happen, but I think it's not going to be a legitimate, free and fair election. Like it's not an election where this is actually going to be of an even playing field. It's going to be an election like Putin has because he still has elections too, but they're not elections where the actual people get any say." And my great fear, like you said, I mean, he's modeled so much of my facial expressions. Sorry, I definitely I have no poker face. But he's modeling so much off of Putin and our elections. I'm terrified. I'm fucking terrified. And when again going back to Republicans and I say they punch themselves in the dick, that's putting it nicely. I mean, they've castrated themselves at this point. When you see what they'll accommodate, even what's this fuck? John Thune, right? He's the new majority leader in the Senate, right? He didn't even really say on Dana Bash's show on CNN that Trump could not constitutionally serve a third term. He was evasive in his answer, and that's what scares me about all of this is that one entire party, has abdicated their responsibilities, and they are really just an arm of Donald Trump and his agenda and his plan. I don't want to give him that much credit, but like to turn this into what Putin has.
Well, listen, Putin had the KGB. What Trump has is Project 2025.
Mhm.
It's a similar methodology. I mean, that's what they're trying to push here. Take the country back to not progress where we came from, but take it back 100 years where we, to that white nationalist Christian path and get away from it. But you gotta understand this. Listen, we should all be scared, and there's a reason to be scared. And I want to be completely honest with you. I wouldn't even be worried about 2028 right now if I was anybody. The honest truth is, if we don't get past 2026,
Yeah.
this is where the fight is, JoJo.
Yeah.
Because and Gavin Newsom, yes, he's doing his thing. He's looking, but if we don't get 2026 is the key,
Yeah.
because if we're not able to have a fair election in 2026, we will lose all. I mean,
That's
the
it.
rights as we know it. We will not have America. Will not, be the way it is. There won't even be a need to have a like you said. It will be just like choreographed, just like it is in North Korea or anywhere else. He'll be, nominated king again. Just think about what he's doing to the Oval, like, the
Ah.
gold and everything, turning the Rose Garden into to a private Mar-a-Lago club that I'm hearing that it's like $500,000 to get into the Rose Garden Club to be able to just think about it, to be able to mingle with congressmen, senators, and lobbyists.
This is a people's house that flies in the face of everything it's supposed to be about. I mean, my
I mean,
God.
he's planning on holding the. Just think about it. The White House itself put out pictures of an insane having the UFC fights on the lawn of
Yeah.
the White House.
Yeah.
This is what they're promoting for next year.
Yeah.
He's putting up $200 million. This is a guy that, just think about it. He on one side of his mouth, he's talking about we gotta save money, we
Yeah.
gotta say cut, we're making. On the other side of his mouth, he's like 200 million, no big deal, but we need a ballroom. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we need a ball. We need a new jet. We need gold. You know, when I came here, this was all gold plated, or you know what? I put gold. Think about the crazy thing he said at the UN. I'm sorry to shift a little bit, but it's an important subject because in the UN he opened his cards up a little bit yesterday. He told a little story. He said a story about how all of a sudden he was one of the contractors bidding on the
Yeah.
job in the UN.
Yeah.
And he told about how he offered them marble floors. He offered them wood, and they turned him down.
Yeah.
They went with somebody else.
Yep. Yeah.
And you could see it in his face that yesterday was revenge time.
Oh, 100.
Yesterday was, and it wasn't about, you could tell it was so petty
Oh, yeah.
about him not getting that job.
Yep.
And he went after everything he could. No,
He
JoJo.
he doesn't let go of these things. Well, first of all, he's a malignant, narcissistic sociopath, right? So he can't. He's also got the maturity of like, I would say, an overtired, dirty, diapered, hangry toddler at snack and nap time. So like, he's petulant and he's petty and he's a bully. He's a playground bully, right? So much of what he does is just fucking petty bullying. I mean, like, he's put up a picture of Joe Biden and it's an auto pen. Like,
Did you see that?
it's just I mean, it's just a fucking, like, I swear to, like, okay, friends, put in the chat, when the next Democratic president gets into office, what should they put up instead of his fucking picture? Okay, that's what I want to know, because
His mugshot. His
what?
mugshot.
I
His
will put up,
mugshot. We need
yeah,
his mugshot, the
yeah,
new one, not the old one, the new
no,
one.
yeah, or a picture of him with Epstein, right? So yeah, he's a petty, vengeful, retributive. Is that how you say the word? Yeah, he is a wretched, depraved, fucking perpetual toddler. I mean, like, he's just so utterly and completely unfit. But that was a huge tell. What he said at the UN, and it also, the last time he was there, he was laughed at. And so there was that vengeance and that retribution there. Like, now you will cow to me, not because you respect me, because you're afraid that if you laugh at me, I will hurt you. And that is just what he did to Jimmy Kimmel, by the way. But I did catch that bullshit about the marble, and then it's like a true sociopath. He's like a person named Donald J. Trump. Like, when he talks about himself,
The third person.
the third person shit, it freaks me out. It's just like, he's so fucking broken. And by the way, because I needed a sanity break, my Substack that I'm trying to finish, and we'll hopefully finish after this and after Miles Taylor, is written from the perspective of the escalator at the UN. Because the escalator, as we know, this is a scandal, Lev. This whoever, and by the way, we know that it was Trump's own people who fucked it up. But like, let's suspend reality, because this is a scandal on par with the greatest scandals of all time. This is an affront like none other. He had to walk up an escalator. What? And then, to add insult to injury, his own fucking people fucked up his teleprompter. And they're still talking about it on Fox. And by the way, that's why I needed a laugh. So I am writing an essay from the perspective of the deep state escalator, who is pleading for its life because Michael Flynn and others want us to bomb the UN because of this. Yeah.
Caroline Levin came
Yeah.
out there, opened an investigation. They're
Yes.
like, we want to get to the bottom of who was in charge of the escalator, who was in charge. We're gonna get them.
We're not going to release the Epstein files, but we're going to find that.
Can you imagine that poor little worker, whoever that worker is probably sitting there thinking they're gonna deport me. They're gonna throw. They're gonna go after. They're gonna make me look into
They're
like
not even just going to deport him. They're going to have a public execution on the fucking South Lawn and charge for it on pay-per-view. I mean, they'll find somebody. They'll find some poor little nerd crowd who's
Yeah.
like shaking. That's why the escalator is pleading for its life. It just wants to live its life and go retire in a mall somewhere in the Oklahoman panhandle because it's very, very, very afraid of the retribution of Donald Trump and Carolyn Levitt and Michael Flynn because somebody's going to
Maybe.
pay for this.
So
I
someone
mean,
has
it's
to pay for it. I mean,
fucking ridiculous.
but I love the way how he, made it all into the first lady. She's in such good shape. If she wasn't, I was just waiting for him to come out and say something about Biden again. I know,
Oh
like
God.
I was like, is he coming? I just gotta say, well, we made it up the stairs. Biden would make it
Yeah.
up. Like,
The irony of ironies, though, was if Melania didn't start walking, I'm convinced he would have either stood there until it started working again or
yes,
gotten off and demanded,
yes.
like, he
I
wants
was
to be
surprised that he
carried.
walked up. I was surprised. You're 100%, JoJo. 100.
Ugh.
If Melania wouldn't have, if he was first, he wouldn't have went. He would have turned around and said, "What the hell?" He got confused because she started walking. He was like, "I gotta walk."
Yeah.
So
And when he got to the top of the stairs, he was apoplectic. Like, the
he
first thing
could.
he said to the UN Secretary General was, "The escalator didn't work." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's talk about genocide in Gaza." Like, this fucking guy. And then he tells women, pregnant women, I know you have to wrap because I have to get on to Miles, but this motherfucker is whining and bitching about a goddamn escalator, and he was whining and bitching about being cold in a fucking courtroom, but he's telling pregnant women, don't take Tylenol, tough it out, don't take Tylenol, don't take Tylenol, don't take Tylenol, if you have a little headache, don't take Tylenol. It can't be so bad, but an escalator not working is the crime of the century and the greatest affront and the greatest sacrifice a human being's ever had to make. But a pregnant woman with a fever, nope, sorry, lady, you're shit out of luck.
JoJo, I mean, this is a guy that basically during COVID, I mean, he said, just let's understand, his advice that he's giving women, pregnant women, is not based off science, not based off anything. It's based off in his own words. He said he has common sense.
Yeah.
So because of his common sense, this is what he's basing it on. So let me take you guys back a couple of years about Donald Trump's common sense when it came to COVID.
Hmm.
Donald Trump said that you need to inject yourself with chloride.
Yeah.
Bleach,
Yeah.
shoot it up. But you know what the problem is, Jojo? And this is what, and I wrote in my Substack, the crazy part. Like he's running around telling people not to take Tylenol, pregnant women, and all of this, and they're fighting against getting away with, all these vaccines. They're destroying our health. But when it comes to them, they don't follow what they preach.
No.
Remember when Donald Trump got COVID, he had all the top scientific technology you could imagine getting shot up in his veins.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why you see black and blues all over his body is because he has constantly all day long being fluids being shot up in those veins.
Yeah.
So when they come out there and preach, they're preaching to you because they want you to be worse. It's
Yeah.
like back in the days, it's like the Romans, it's like any of those societies where you heard they would get all the best, but they wanted the public to be, there had to be a certain life expectancy because you
Yep.
couldn't, they need to live longer than you. They
Yep.
need to be stronger. They need to be, and it's all part of that whole thing. So, I mean, Jojo, when I heard them tell about Tylenol, I'm still waiting for the lawsuit. I can't
Oh
believe
my God.
Tylenol still hasn't come out with. I mean, why aren't people suing him? Can you tell me? Like, I like. We need more. Like, do the same what he's doing to people. I tell everybody. I tell the
Well,
Democrats. First of
yeah.
all, you gotta fight fire with fire by
Yeah.
taking away the news cycle.
Yep.
Come out, stop being on the other side of the tennis fence where he's hitting you with balls and you're just sitting there trying to knock him out all day long. Do
Amen.
the opposite. Come
Fuck.
hit him up with something. Let's attack him. We got the Epstein. Do you understand, Jojo? We have survivors.
Yeah.
We have
Oh, yeah.
literally survivors and victims of the
Yep.
most crucial, horrendous crimes that committed. That is a bipartisan issue.
Yep.
Standing there saying, very simple, Mr. President, we want to sit down with you. We want to share our story. We
Mm-hmm.
want you to hear that this is not a hoax.
Yeah. Yep.
How are we not pushing this? How
Well,
are we not everybody out there? Because to him, that's kryptonite. Because he's not, he will do everything not to
yeah.
sit down with
Yeah.
him.
1,000%. I could not agree with you more. And from everything from what Gavin Newsom is doing in California, by the way, is fighting fire with his Prop 50, where he's trying to get the 5 seats that they're trying to steal in Texas back. And they don't want to fucking gerrymander. But look, if they're going to play the game this way, right, they're going to rewrite the rules. You can't be playing the old game. Like, you're never, ever, ever going to compete. Chuck Schumer, all due respect to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries right now, but they're trying to have conversations with Donald Trump as if we don't live in the world that we live in, as if we're on some fucking fictional planet B in which you can reason with Donald Trump. Fuck that. And by the way, why aren't they calling this the Trump shutdown, the Republican shutdown? Why? The Republicans are already messaging that this is the Democrats' fault. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the Oval, and they're already messaging that it's the Democrats' fault. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop. I don't want to see another firmly, strongly worded fucking letter. I don't want to see you posing anemically with a baseball bat. All bets are off now, friends. You need to go to fucking war. And the messaging war means you go on offense. It means you call them weird. It means you say every fucking day, great, where are the Epstein files? Every single day. You say, what's going on with your hand? Where's the transparency there? What's going on with your ankles? Why are you slurring your speech? Why were you at the UN like this? Like fucking twisted and like, oh, what is going on there? Like you go on offense. By the way, I am currently leaving a voice memo for my son. This is hysterical. It is. I put it on. Accidentally hit this little microphone, so my son is getting all of this. So I'll save it for posterity. But yes, Lev, go on offense.
Jojo,
you go scorched earth.
Yeah, even perfect example. I know you got to run, but just quickly, the same thing. Just take the perfect example about this bill. Instead of begging him, can you meet with us so we could give you our ideas? So then he flips on you and says, I'm not going to sit down with you because your ideas. Why won't you come out and say, we're not going to sit down with you because your ideas suck?
Yeah.
There's nothing you're calling. It's because you're shutting it down. It's a simple messaging.
Yes.
It's like they're begging to sit down with them for them to come out and then get abused.
I literally don't. And between us, and I'm maybe getting ahead of myself, but I'm trying with my partner at the Siren, Sam Schwartz, and I are trying to put together a live event where ahead of the shutdown deadline, where it's lawmakers from the Democratic Party and creators and new media having this very conversation, telling the American people who owns this shutdown and why, telling the American people what the Democrats are out there fighting for, which, by the way, it has to do with your Medicaid, your Medicare, your fucking SNAP benefits, your access to health care. It has to do with all of those things that the Democrats are still not naming, which is very, very frustrating for the rest of us, because I would love to be messaging on what the Democrats are doing right now in advance of the shutdown, but they're not in step about it. So they need to be, which is why we need to go on offense, and we need to call it the Trump shutdown, the Republican shutdown. I don't give a fuck which one you pick one and make them own it all the time, but also say what you're for. Say what you're fucking for.
Have a message. Have some kind of message. We have a message. Say, what do you... Thank you, Jojo. I mean, that was exactly... I couldn't have said it better myself. Everybody out there, if you need to spread this message, take this... When Jojo puts this video out, I'll put it out. You have to take it and send it to as far as many people. We need to build our platform here, folks. We're fighting a monster. We're fighting at a time of our era that's... history has never seen it like this. This is a time where we need to all stand up, join together, because we're, what JoJo's doing, what I'm doing, what Michael, what others are doing, we're risking our freedom. Trust me when I tell you to stand up, to talk to them, because what you're seeing with the Jimmy Kimmels, with the Colberts, with the CNN, and then that's just the beginning. Because what I'm hearing is the next step is they're going to go after the independent journalists. They're going to go after the voices, the independent voices like us out here on Substack. And the only way we'll be able to survive, the only way we'll be able to win, though, is if we stick together. If you go out there and spread the message. If you become subscribers. And for those of you that can, become paid subscribers. This is what makes us move, because neither Jojo nor I, we don't have billionaires. We don't have the Elon Musk, the corporate media sponsors. We're at home doing what we can in the middle of Jojo picking up her kids, in the middle of me driving my kids to school. We're doing everything I can because we are here to be able to give you the truth that the media is not. without no spin, without no the real, the bare, the truth from inside out. So I wanted to say thank you for all of you, those that support JoJo, myself, and others. And if you're not yet, go up there, that see that gray little thing where it says JoJo and Lev, hit that and subscribe to both of us.
Yes, amen to that, and all of that, and Lev, I constantly reflect on how fucking weird my life is, right? Because it's weird. It's weird that I watched you on the news of all those years, and that didn't know you. Would never imagine in a million years I would know you or Michael Cohen for that matter. But that is, to me, that is the most emblematic thing there is about this moment, because it has made allies of people who were not necessarily allies and not wouldn't necessarily have been before. But what we have in common, what I have in common with Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, which, there's not a lot of them, to be honest, but what I have in common with you is that we understand that this moment is much bigger than us. This moment is much bigger than any political ideologies we may have had. It's much bigger than any personal ideologies we may have had. This is the fight of my life. And for your kids, for my kids, I'm going to cry, but I can't cry because I have to keep my makeup on for my next podcast. But like for everybody here, all of you and everyone that you love out there, like when I see Jimmy Kimmel getting emotional last night when he's talking about why he loves this country, what makes this country special, what makes this country great, it makes me emotional too. And no one's coming to save us. It is incumbent upon us to be there for each other. And I truly and honestly believe at the end of the day, when you talk about that oligarchy class, that is what it is. It's them versus us. And by us, I mean everyone who doesn't have a key to Club Broligarch, guys. I mean everybody. Your cousin who says he loves Trump, who is a farmer and is losing his fucking shirt right now. They don't give a shit. And they don't give a shit about any of us at all. And I think that there is more to galvanize us in this moment than there is to divide us. And as long as we hold fast to that, I have hope. I really do. And so I want to also thank all 1,400 people who are here and have been here. And yeah, we'll be posting these videos and, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones. My friends who have never been political in their lives, they talk about politics now because this stuff it's scary. It's scary. It's existential. It's all hands on deck. And I think that messaging can and will get through. And I say this all the time, but the only way out is through, and the only way through is together. And I firmly fucking believe
Amen.
that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, JoJo, for
Thanks,
having me
Lev.
on
Let's do
that.
this
Thank
again
you.
sometime.
Absolutely. And keep me informed. I think you have a great idea. And if you're going to do a live, I'm in.
Yes.
And just keep me.
Your
Let's
son is
definitely
in
do it.
too,
Oh,
actually. Your
yeah.
son has
Aaron,
already
I'm
agreed to do
sure.
it.
Yeah. And I told you he's the boss. So if you work on that.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm in his fantasy football league.
uh,
I don't think I've played him yet. I beat Harry Sisson this week. I beat him by like 20 points. But Aaron's running the league, and I heard that there was a fantasy football league, and I was like, I want to play because I love fucking fantasy football. So I'm in Aaron's league, and I think I'm tied for second place right now. So that's not too bad.
I'm sure Aaron has a lot of Jets on his team, unfortunately.
Did you? I don't know if you saw this, but because I'm a Giants fan, lifelong Giants fan, I did have a dabble with when they were the Redskins because I like Dexter Manley, which is like a weird thing, but whatever. I dabbled with the Redskins when they were the Redskins, but when I found out that Aaron was a Jets fan, I have been mocking him relentlessly to the point where I had Gavin Newsom
I
laughing
saw
at him.
that. I feel responsible because he goes to me, he goes, Dad, you couldn't have liked another team because I'm diehard. Can you imagine? So many years I've been.
Wait, you're a Jets fan too? It's like a
How did you
family.
think Aaron? You thought Aaron just all of a sudden became a Jets fan
I guess
growing up in
nobody does.
Florida?
Nobody just does that. No, nobody just does
You
that.
know,
Wow.
it has to come from deep inside. It comes
Yeah.
from somebody that's been a loyal and passed it
Yeah.
on to my kids. That's something I passed on to all my kids. We're
Wow.
all diehard Jets fans. So
Wow.
you should.
Well,
I sent you a picture of us when we watch a Jets game. And I said, "Oh, Aaron's gonna love this." With all of us in our Jets gear. There's
oh
like
my
20 of
God.
us. All
I'm
the kids. And it's outside the team.
I'm so
You can
sorry.
send it to Aaron.
Well, we found them. The only two Jets fans in existence, friends, is Lev and Aaron Parnas. Okay, now I do have to go get ready for Miles. But look out
Say
for
hi to
that
Miles for
podcast
me.
tomorrow. I
Take
will.
care,
And
guys.
yeah, he texted me. He's like, looks like we have something to talk about. Okay, see you later, Lev. Bye,
Take care,
guys.
guys.
Thanks so
Bye
much.
bye.
Bye.